2, 1. Hey, it is a time for another high five. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of the PayProtect Nation, the High Five Nation, and where we talk about how to become the best payments professional you could possibly be. But sometimes we got to have some of the best payments professionals on the show. And well, I always have the best payments professionals because I have Brian Linke and Danny Shard. Brian and Danny, it is we got 2 full days, 2.5 days as we record this left of March. How are we feeling? Are we feeling like it's been a good March?
We're giving out money.
Hey,
okay, how bad could it be? We're giving away money on top of money that we're already giving away. So
that is, our partners are responding and giving us great days, right, Danny?
We're having an amazing March. Brian's right. I mean, we're giving out money and people respond well to that. So production's through the roof. You guys are doing a great job at keeping us busy and keep taking advantage of it. Only a few days left.
Not much time left. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't keep. So sometimes you have, discipline that is driven and accountability that's driven by, hey, I'm going to make as much money in March as possible. So that's great. That's an extrinsic goal that makes us move. But we set goals, we set dreams, we have plans and strategies, but we're also, independent contractors, and we live in the world where we say, hey, I don't have a boss, they can't tell me what to do, but we still need that accountability, we need that goal, we need to actually see ourselves moving forward. So today, as we did a little bit on the 5 with Danny, and those are, if you're watching this from the email, that's a 5-minute version of what we're going to discuss here with Brian and Danny, but so go and find that, the 5 with Danny on specifically accountability. But I wanted to ask Brian and Danny to kind of help us think through when we're independent contractors, and man, we love saying we don't have a boss, but how do we get out of bed in the morning and actually get crap done? And let's say it, get shit done. Let's do it. How do we actually do that? I mean, Brian, I know you've been an independent contractor and a salesperson for a long time. I'm going to assume that this is correct. You've seen a lot of people who have not succeeded because they can't figure out how to give themselves motivation when someone's not telling them what to do.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, that's the people that fail do that. And I think the thing, the word that you haven't mentioned yet, Nate, and I'm glad you didn't, because I wouldn't have had anything to talk about, but is routine, right? Routine is the key to self-discipline. Right, because you have to develop some type of routine. And it's not easy, right? It's not easy to develop. Okay, here I'm going to get out of bed today. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to work out. I'm going to go to the Y and work out. I'm going to come back. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to I'll eat a bowl of cereal. I'll make 15 calls. I'll get up. I'll go for a walk. I'll come back. I'll eat lunch. It doesn't have to be. And life is such a crazy thing anyway that, like, just because you have a routine, there's always a curveball, right? Somebody's always throwing you, the curve that you have to stand in the box, keep your head down and hit it, right? But I think a routine is the key. And once you develop one, I just think a lot of the stress goes away, because this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. Does it need to be tweaked? Absolutely. Of course. I mean, nothing's perfect, but I think once you get a routine down, you'll start seeing your sales go up.
And routine is one of the hardest things for certain personalities. And some of this is a personality thing, but we have every type of personality that are involved in becoming payments professionals, involved in sales. And you have to realize what gets you to get things done and get that routine going. Some of us deal better with different types of routines. Danny, you've been doing this a long time too. Is there a certain type of personality that succeeds, or is it just that drive and finding ways to, find accountability and get that personal drive that makes successful payments professionals?
Yeah, I think it's finding what just what drives you as an individual, right? Is it hitting certain goals? Is it making a certain dollar amount? Is it making a certain amount of contacts because the amount of contacts are gonna get you to that dollar amount? I mean, obviously we're all here to make money. But I think a lot of successful salespeople are not just setting goals focused on dollar amounts. They're setting goals focused on number of communication with customers, right? Number of pitches that they'll make to a customer, number of closed deals, right? And that can range depending on the volume that the merchants are doing, what type of profitability you're going to see. There's a lot of different variables that go into it. And I think it's about finding what drives you and what you're going to best respond to. And like Brian's saying, like what you can continue to repeat every day. That repetition is key to being successful in anything that we do in life, right? And if we're doing the same thing over and over again that we've identified yields results, we're going to see that over or extend over time. So I think it takes all different types of personalities, and it's really just about finding what's going to work for you and what type of thing you want to focus on that's just going to continue to drive you forward.
Well, let's look at it maybe a different way and ask, what are some of the warning signs that we should look for both inside ourselves or in our business that maybe we need to take a different look or change something up? What are some of those warning signs that maybe we're not being as effective and efficient as a payment sales professional than as we could? What are some of those things that you may look at and say, hey, you know, I need to take abreast of this and go move forward and do some changes. Brian, what are some warning signs?
How about this? How about one? There's one. Like I'm not selling anything. I need to
You're
change
not
something.
closing deals, right?
Right.
Yep.
I'm not selling anything. So maybe I should change the way I do things. But there's another important thing. And I learned this. I mean, literally in 1986 when I was working in Midtown Manhattan, and I was selling long distance, and MCI Sprint. The name of the company I worked for was Cable and Wireless, 5 Penn Plaza, right across from Madison Square Garden. And I had a manager, and he might, other than Danny Shard. Okay, this guy was maybe the best salesperson I have ever met. Danny's number one by far, but this guy,
Thank you,
okay.
Brian.
What you're welcome. But what he did was, okay, just like any coach would do, okay, he put the players in the right spot. Okay, not everybody, can work like that. Like I was up on the Upper East Side, Donald Trump's building up there, and we had to go through 12 secretaries and do all these proposals. Well, okay, if anybody knows me, okay, I'm not the proposal guy, right? I'm not the, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to go crunch these numbers. And okay, I'm the 14th Street, if anybody knows New York, to 49th Street, right in Hell's Kitchen, right in where the guy turns the egg timer over and says, okay, go. Okay. And you just boom, and you're in there and you're out of there and you're in there and you're out of there. And my manager quickly learned that my personality fit those types of people, rather than the 3-piece suit and tie up on the Upper East Side where you had to go in and literally get through. I mean, I'm not kidding you when I tell you like 10, 12 secretaries to get to the decision maker. So once you learn that about yourself and the type of people and type of businesses that actually fit your personality, I think that'll be, rather than just going in, just out of control. I'm just going to hit every single thing. Okay, come up with a plan, a routine, okay, that fits your personality. And I think you'll see your sales grow from there.
I mean, Danny, what do you think? Like, obviously, closing deals, that is one of the things that is a big warning sign. Are there things that, like, hey, if you're getting less meetings, or hey, are there precursors to some of those things before you say, hey, I'm closing less deals, that you should look at and just be aware of, kind of as measurement? And then how do you keep yourself accountable to that? Because we talked about on the 5 with Danny that you have I get 1 point for doing X, 2 points for doing
Right.
Y, those type of things. And making sure you're doing that activity, but also, hey, making sure you don't close deals. You've got to make sure your deals. There's a lot of activity before you get to those deals. What are some of the things that you should be measuring? Is it calls, meetings? What are some of those things that should be looking for?
Yeah, there's a ton of indicators, if you will, that could be causing you to be successful or to not be successful. Right. Number of meetings is definitely one of them. Are you building enough of a referral pipeline? Are you staying in constant communication with your current merchants? Are you staying in constant communication with your referral partners? Are you moving in a lot of different directions in an effort to get those contacts and to get those deals? And if you're not, if you're falling off in any of those categories, then you're probably going to see that lead to less deal count or start to become stagnant, right? Where you're just not feeling like you're getting much done, and then you start second guessing everything, right? You're second guessing your pitch, you're second guessing your approach, and that's natural, right? Whenever you start or you start seeing a decline in sales, then doubt sets in, and that's where we usually see a lot of salespeople fail. And that's where I think it's an opportunity for you to develop a system, right? We talked about it in one of the other episodes that we did. One of the partners that I work really closely with, Steven, he's developed a point system that is designed to keep him accountable, right? And he bounces it off of me every day, so I know kind of what he's doing, and I can say, man, you really knocked it out of the park today, or didn't get as much done today as you had hoped, right? And it's a good thing is, Steven is wanting somebody to be accountable to, and I'm his person, and I'm that for a lot of our sales partners. He approached me with the concept. He calls it the AAA Club. It's activity and accountability, and it's that concept of this is what he's going to do every day, and he's telling me he's going to do it. So I'm going to be able to kind of push him along. I'm going to be able to kind of razz him a little bit whenever he doesn't get that much done. And it's going to hold him accountable to continuing to hit those doors, hit those customers, and hopefully close business. And he's doing here, let me get it in front of me, but this point system that he's created. And I think there's a lot of different ways that you can do this, depending on what you want your approach to be. So he's got, here he calls it dad. So we do the dad club every day. It's deal a day. So if you're a dad today, that's a good thing. Even if you're a woman in our business, he's call it a dad. You're looking for a deal a day. The AAA Club, activity and accountability. We are doing, let's see, we've got 1 point for each contact, 5 points for each presentation, and 10 points for each sale. I added another 5 points, or I'm sorry, 10 points for each installation, because the next day he only got 29 points because he was very busy with installations. And I'm like, that's okay. That means you made 4 contacts. That means you made 1 sale. That means you made 1 installation, or you made 1 pitch. So it's a system like this, I think. And if you're open to creating something like this, myself, Brian, Nate, any of us are happy to talk to you about it, because this type of point system can really help you have a visual and a number to hit every day, with the number of doors you want to open, with the number of people that you want to communicate with, and make sure that you're hitting as many points as possible, because at the end of the year, those points equate to deals and equates to dollars earned. So it's a cool concept, and I think it's something that could really help a lot of us be accountable if you have a system like that.
When I think it's a lot of it's about having goals and then having tasks that go into meeting those goals, and then evaluating every once, am I getting to those goals? But when we wake up in the morning, some of us, or a lot of people, wake up every morning and they go to the office and they have to clock in and clock out. We don't have to do that. That's a blessing. As sales professionals, it's not, you don't have to do that, but you also have to be accountable for getting certain amount of things done, getting work done, and then finding someone to help you do that. I think a lot of that is finding other people just to have, even occasionally, whether they have the power, but giving them, hey, I'm going to walk you through. Danny, you're not, in this case, telling him he has to text you, or telling him that he, hey,
Right.
you're fired if you don't do this tomorrow. But he's using that as a way, because he doesn't want to look bad in front of you. That's an important thing, to have people around you that you're like sharing what's going on, helping those goals, because that helps you process too. Hey, am I being effective or not? If it's just you, it's kind of hard to tell, because you've got to be doing things today that are going to turn into sales 6 weeks from now. How do you find some of those people? Like, he found you, but you can't do that for our, nearly 1,000 active partner offices, and some of those offices representing, another 40 people under them, so you got 5,000 people. We can't have them texting you. That doesn't work. How do you find someone to be accountable to?
Yeah, and I think that's extremely important for you to be accountable, right? Is have somebody, whether it's your partner, whether it's somebody here internally at PayProtech, a sibling, your parents. Anybody can be this person for you. Preferably somebody that understands sales and understands our industry, and someone that can, drive you a little bit, even question you on certain days, right? I think that's a big thing, and being held accountable is also having your feet held to the fire a little bit, right? You want to make sure that if you're not doing this, that person, your go-to person that's there supposed to be your cheerleader, is also there to tell you to pick up the pace a little bit whenever you need it. I think that's extremely important. In our business here at Papertech, I mean, we've got a lot of relationship managers that work very closely with our partners. I encourage you to use one of our relationship managers too, right? We can see your activity. We know how you operate. We know the types of merchants you're going after. In a lot of cases, we're helping you talk through each different deal. So we can kind of help you, and we can be this person for you, even if it's just on a general scale. So use us, use anybody that you can bounce some ideas off of, but create some type of system. I think that's extremely important if you're trying to find a way to be more productive and to hold yourself more accountable. A point system or something like that, and having an accountability partner is definitely the way to go, and that's going to keep driving you forward.
And if you're going to be accountable to something, you have to have some type of record to do it. So you've got to be, whether you do it on a piece of paper and write down what you're doing and how many phone calls you made and how many meetings you had and how many proposals you put out and how many closings, you got to be recording it. I encourage, if get some type of CRM. In fact, look for some type of an announcement here about an opportunity that Papertech has, some type of software that does some of those things and helps you manage and create reporting. That's a great way to do that. But you got to be, in order to be accountable, you've got to be recording it in some way. And because if you don't, you get to the end of the road and you're like, I don't even know how many deals I signed. Was I successful or not? And I think that's what happens to a lot of us. We get through a period of time, Brian, I'll come to you on this, and we get done and we don't even know how to measure whether we were successful or not because we didn't, document it, and maybe we didn't even have a goal. Those are important because we want to get down, with a period of time and go, yeah, I actually meet and exceed my goals.
Well, right. I mean, and goals are a great thing to have. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a really good thing to have. But I also think that people are like, well, you just I hear people tell me, oh, you get so lucky. You get so okay. There's no such thing as luck. Okay, there's such a thing as putting yourself in a position to get lucky, right? And by doing that, you've got to get and for anyone who's listening to this who thinks that you can do this job from your living room, I mean, you know what? More power to you. I just don't think there's any way that you can actually be successful in payments and without getting out and in front of people. I mean, obviously there are partners that have found some success once you get some referrals and things like that. I get it. But if you're not putting yourself out there, then you're not putting yourself in a position to get lucky. So, again, if you're sitting there just waiting for the phone to ring, you're waiting a long time. But like you said, Nate, adapting to different things and how different things work. I mean, in anything, right? If you're a baseball player and your batting stance is one way and you're just not hitting the ball, okay, maybe it's time to change your stance. Move your hands down, move your hands up. Put stagger your feet a little bit. Whatever it is, okay, keep your head down. Whatever it is, you have to adapt to those changes. So just because something's working, it's great, right? It's great for as long as it's working, but eventually, when that runs out, it's time to adapt to something else.
And that adaptation, I think it comes, I always call these the speed bumps in life. Create speed bumps in your life that every once in a while shake you up and make you think, okay, am I doing what I want to do? Am I reaching the goals I want to do? Am I doing the activity to get me to that, whatever that next goal is, whatever that next step is? Maybe it's retirement, or maybe it's just simply, getting to a residual of 10,000 a month, or whatever those goals are. Am I doing the work that's going to get me there? Because what we see is, I mean, I don't know what the percentage is, but Danny, most of the people have higher aspirations than they do work ethic to get the job done in this industry. Would you say that?
Absolutely. I mean, and I think that's with any salesperson, right? I mean, you've got lofty goals and you should, right? If you don't have big aspirations, big numbers you want to hit, big lifestyle you want to have, then, you probably shouldn't be in sales, right? Sales is one of the only industries that is going to get you to have that type of lifestyle without being some crazy entrepreneur. Now you know, it's okay to have that, but it's also something that we got to be realistic as we're building and as we're growing, right? And I don't say that to kind of knock us down. I say that to kind of keep us in line with what we're doing today And kind of going back to what Brian was talking about, right? The repetition is key. You can have that, that stake dangling in front of you to be your driver. Call it that boat, call it the house, call it that lifestyle that you're wanting to live. But as you continue to try to drive to that, you can't let that be your only focus. Your focus needs to be that repetition, needs to be that daily routine that you're going to create that's going to get you there. And obviously, any of us that have a routine, we break that routine daily as well, right? And that's okay. But as long as we've got some type of outline, something that we're going to follow on those days when we're wondering what we're going to do, you're never going to guess what you're going to do. Here's what you have in place. Is that going to change? Yes. As you have meetings come up, as you have opportunities come up that you're going to go to, you're going to take advantage of those, and it's going to take you out of that routine that you have created. That's okay. Whenever those things slow down, whenever you're kind of back into the day to day, you're always going to be able to pivot back to your routine and get back into what you were doing. I think that's going to be one of the best ways that you're going to see a lot of growth in your portfolio. But keep those aspirations high, because you're going to get there. You want to keep those goals lofty, but stay in the day to day, stay in where you're at right now, and keep on that repetition.
See, the only thing is, Dan, that you said. I mean, it's funny that you said that because, I'm just a believer. You dangle the stake out, the boat, the house, all these
Yep.
materialistic things, and that's great. I mean, those things are all, I mean, everybody likes nice things, right? Everybody likes to drive a nice car, live in a nice house, eat good food, go to nice restaurants. I mean, I mean, there isn't anybody that doesn't like that. Okay, but those have never been, something that I would strive for, because in sales, and again, maybe this is just because I was trained by a guy, and to this day, and that was a long, long time ago, but to this day, I live by a lot of the rules that he taught me. In that, when you're in sales, it's never enough. Okay, which is a problem for me. It's at times, right? Because I drive myself to a point to where, like, if I lose a merchant, or if an agent leaves me, okay, I tend to, and Danny's gonna laugh at this, but I tend to take it personally, right? I mean, it's because, like, I don't lose. Okay, Brian Linky doesn't lose, okay, ever. And when I do lose, because obviously you can't win all the time, okay, it bothers me, no matter what it is. No matter, if we're playing softball on Wednesday nights in the summertime, I don't like to lose. So therefore, that's what drives me. It's not again, nice cars, nice out, great, awesome, travel, great, awesome. But those are not the things that drive me. I just, I'm driven by myself, in that, you make X amount of dollars. Okay, great. Well, you know what? I want to make double that. Right. And, I guess it's one way to drive yourself crazy. But it's who I am.
All right, I'm going to close with this quote. It's by Henry Evans, business consultant. A culture of accountability makes a good organization great, and a great organization unstoppable. So let me paraphrase that. A culture of accountability makes a good sales partner great, and a great sales partner unstoppable. What do you think, Brian Linky? Do you agree?
That's heavy, Nate. I mean, that is
Is
that's
deep.
blowing my mind. You may have to repeat it like 3 or 4 more times. Say one more time.
All right, here we go. A culture of accountability makes a good organization or good salesperson great, and a great salesperson unstoppable.
Okay, so I think it kind of goes back to what I was just saying. Like,
Yep.
yeah, once you're accountable for something, okay, and you reach greatness, okay, great, awesome, right? I mean, whatever that is, right? Whatever greatness is, and I think greatness is, to one person, is different than it is to the other. I mean, I don't, you talk to people every day, and I think it differs. But yeah, the next step being unstoppable, that's where I want to be. Right. I want to be the guy, and you would think that as I'm getting older that it would slow down. I think I've slowed down a little bit. My wife gets all over me. She thinks that I go too hard, but no, I mean, once you get past greatness to unstoppability, I guess is the word.
Yep.
Okay. Then there's no stopping you. Right. Then that's when I'm the happiest, is when there's no stopping me, when I feel like I'm invincible, and I'm unstoppable.
Well, and Danny, one of the things I would say to you is we don't want just to work with great sales partners. We have a lot of that. We want to help work with unstoppable sales partners, and come lean on us to do it, right?
Yeah, and those are, I mean, those come in all forms, all shapes and sizes. I mean, we've got a lot of unstoppable partners that merchant services isn't their focus, right? Their
Yep.
focus is other business solutions, and they're tying in payment processing to add another revenue stream. And we want to work with those all day long. Whether merchant payment processing is your main focus or just building your business the way you want it to be built, and we're going to be an add-on to that. Let us help you do it. But we just want to work with driven individuals and people that come to work to achieve the same goals every day, and we're here to help you do that.
Yeah. I love it. That's a good point. That this is not. That's why it's not one size fits all. This is about helping you become the best you, and you're the only you. It's uniquely you. And so whether you're the main job you do is a software salesperson, or the main job you do is a developer, or maybe you're a marketer, or maybe you're a real estate agent. But whatever part merchant services and point of sale plays into that, we want to be our part in that and help you reach your goals, help you be part of that, and help you be in that accountable, especially as independent contractors. We're not your boss, but we're here to help you stay accountable. And you don't have to be a boss and have a boss to be accountable, right?
That's it.
Well,
You
okay,
got it.
okay. If our sales partners are succeeding, okay, that means that I'm succeeding, that Danny's succeeding, that Nate's succeeding, that Billy West is succeeding. Okay, that all the people in my office, our relationship managers, which I want to another plug to them. If you don't know who your relationship manager is, please get in touch with me. I will let you know, because if you're not using your relationship manager, okay, it's one of the best things, if not the best thing, that we provide for our sales partner. Jason Lee Cook, Jenny Rickle, Pamela Bailey, and Jen Sales. As good, you're not going to find better. You may find as good, you're not going to find better. So if you don't know who they are and you're not using them, then you're doing it wrong.
That
Yep.
is it. All right.
Agreed.
As we close, Danny, you got one more?
Nope, I agree.
All right. As we close out today, it is our last time speaking in March. When we talk to you next time, it'll be April. A lot of us are going to get together. The next time, I'm not sure exactly when our next recording is going to be, because we're going to be in Las Vegas 2 weeks from today. We'll be in Las Vegas together. What do you say, Danny Shard, to our partners as we finish up March? Hopefully they're watching this in the last day or 2 days of March, and then go into April. What do you say to our partners?
It's been a wild and crazy month. Still a few days left, from spring breaks to just a lot of different stuff going on here in the month of March, and it's going to carry into April. We've got some new and exciting things we're going to come out with in April, but we also get to see a lot of you, right? We know a large number of our partners have chosen to come to Vegas to see us at Top Golf, to hang out with us for a couple days, maybe go out to dinner, might even get to have a drink with Brian Linke. And it's something that we're really excited
That's
about.
a goal out there.
That's a goal. So if you haven't quite committed to Vegas yet and it's something you're on the fence about, call us. Let's talk about it. We'd love to see you. But yeah, we're pumped on finishing March here strong, and then what we're looking forward to here in April.
All right, Brian Linke, what say you? This last
For
2
the
days of
people
March.
that, the way I look at it too is that, for people that are living, in the Midwest and Northeast, even out, it's been cold and cloudy and windy and disgusting around here. But April to me is like, okay, you know what? Hopefully that's all going away, right? And the sun's going to start shining, and I think it just gives you we hit daylight savings now, so it gets darker later, and I just think it gets your body like reinvigorated. So like if you haven't come up with a plan, and a routine, I mean, there's no better time to start than right now.
All right. And on that, I say thank you guys, everybody, for watching, listening, subscribing in any way, making comments, sending us feedback. We're so thankful you're part of the PayProtect Nation, part of the High Five Nation. And we would love to see you in Vegas. We'd love to hear your comments. You can always email me at nmanahan@payprotect.com, email partners@payprotect.com, send out a carrier pigeon, however you want to get a hold of us. But on this, the last High Five of March 2022, I say, everybody, high five, everybody. We'll see you next time.